Have you ever felt like you're on the verge of a great miracle? Maybe you've been through tough times, prayed tirelessly, and still haven't seen the answers you're hoping for. I know how frustrating that can be. But what if I told you that it's in the moments of greatest pressure that God is preparing the biggest miracle? Yes, your struggle is not in vain. What seems like a season of waiting may actually be preparation for a divine breakthrough in your life. Prayer is the key to this transformation. And I'm not talking about simply repeating words. I mean a powerful prayer that can open doors, tear down walls, and bring the victory you've been seeking. You're about to learn a prayer that could change your life. This is not just any message. God wants to speak to you right now. What you're about to discover may be exactly what you need to strengthen your faith and see God's promises fulfilled in your life. Before we dive into this life-changing teaching, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here you'll find content that strengthens your faith, renews your hope, and guides you on a journey of spiritual growth. And let me know in the comments. Do you believe that God has a miracle in store for you? Write, "My victory comes from the Lord," and declare it with faith. Now, let's walk this journey of transformation together. In life's toughest moments, it's easy to feel like everything is out of control, but that's exactly when God works in the most incredible ways. He turns chaos into spiritual growth and uses trials to refine those who trust in Him. Just as gold is purified in fire, faith is strengthened through adversity. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for the good of those who love Him, even when we can't see it in the moment. The desert may feel endless, but at the end of it, a miracle is waiting. Many powerful testimonies begin with seasons of pain. Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before being exalted in Egypt. Job lost everything before experiencing complete restoration. Paul endured persecution, yet his writings shaped the history of faith. What did these men have in common? Unshakable trust in God's divine plan. 2 Corinthians 12:9 teaches us that God's power is made perfect in our weakness. If your battle feels impossible today, remember, God not only sees your suffering, but He is already preparing your victory. Waiting can be painful, but here's the secret. It's not just about enduring, it's about growing. Every tear shed in prayer is a seed for a future miracle. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is God trying to teach me?" Often, the answer comes in the form of a new opportunity, an unexpected open door, or a renewal of faith. And speaking of prayer, there is immense power when we humble ourselves before God and seek Him in prayer. Prayer is more than just words spoken into the air. It is a direct connection with God, a turning point in any situation. Those who pray with faith don't just speak, they connect with the Creator of the universe. Matthew 7:7 assures us that when we ask, seek, and knock, the answer will come. How many times in the Bible do we see men and women changing their destinies through prayer? Hannah prayed and gave birth to Samuel. Elijah cried out and fire came down from heaven. Daniel prayed and was rescued from the lion's den. If God did it before, He will do it again. Nothing compares to the power of sincere prayer. James 5:16 says that the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective, but many pray without truly believing. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds but doubts they will grow. He will never see the harvest. The same is true with prayer. Hebrews 11:6 teaches that without faith it is impossible to please God. Prayer is an act of trust, a surrender. When we lay our worries before Him, we acknowledge that His divine plan is greater than our problems, and you don't need a huge amount of faith to see miracles happen. Jesus said that faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains, Matthew 17:20. Even small prayers can bring great answers, so next time a door seems closed, instead of giving up, get on your knees and talk to God. He may not change the situation immediately, but he will certainly begin a transformation within you. And speaking of transformation, when faith grows, resilience also strengthens. Life's challenges can feel overwhelming, but those who have faith know that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Isaiah 40:31 teaches us that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength like eagles soaring above the storm. Have you ever noticed that the hardest moments bring the greatest lessons? Joseph was sold into slavery before becoming governor of Egypt. David faced giants before becoming king. Every spiritual battle strengthens our armor and prepares us for even greater victories. Being resilient doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means learning to find strength in the midst of it. The psalmist wrote that the righteous may face many troubles, but the Lord delivers them from them all. Psalm 34:19. Sometimes God's answer isn't to remove the problem, but to make us stronger through it. Think of an athlete. Muscles don't grow by avoiding resistance, but by pushing through it. Faith works the same way. The more we trust God, the more prepared we become to overcome challenges. Breakthrough comes when we stop focusing on the problem and start seeing God's providence in the midst of the storm. The desert doesn't last forever, and God always has a purpose for every difficulty. The same faith that sustains us in the struggle is the faith that opens doors to new opportunities. And when we understand this, we begin to see the unexpected blessings that come through divine favor. When God moves, nothing stays the same. He turns pain into testimony, crisis into new beginnings, and impossibilities into miracles. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us that God has plans to give us hope and a future, even when everything seems to be falling apart. Have you noticed that breakthroughs often come when we least expect them? A closed door might actually be leading to something much greater. God doesn't just restore, He renews, bringing spiritual growth and new opportunities where we once saw only failure. Divine favor doesn't follow human logic. It surprises and exceeds expectations. Ephesians 3:20 tells us that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. A reversed medical diagnosis, an unexpected job opportunity, a restored relationship, these are signs of God's quiet yet powerful provision at work. But to experience this transformation, we must trust Him. Just as a farmer plants seeds without seeing the harvest immediately, we must cultivate faith, knowing that God is preparing something extraordinary. This restoration isn't just external, it happens within us as well. Sometimes the greatest blessing isn't a change in circumstances, but a transformation of the heart. God shapes our character, strengthens our resilience, and teaches us to rely on Him. And as we experience this change, we realize that true victory isn't just in visible blessings, but in the peace and confidence that grow inside us. And that confidence compels us to seek His presence even more. Prayer isn't just a religious habit, it's a powerful weapon that breaks invisible chains and opens doors where there once were only walls. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches us not to be anxious about anything, but to present everything to God in prayer. How often do we feel trapped with no way out, forgetting that the answer lies in direct communication with our Creator? Prayer brings peace, relief, and direction. It's not about repeating empty words, but about having a sincere conversation that transforms both mind and spirit. Have you ever seen someone achieve the impossible against all odds? The difference often lies in their persistence in seeking God. Mark 11:24 says, "We must pray with faith, believing that we have already received." This means that prayer doesn't just ask, it anticipates victory. Whether it's for the restoration of a family, the fulfillment of a long-delayed dream, or the healing of an illness, praying without ceasing is like planting seeds in fertile soil. Sooner or later, the harvest will come. And while external miracles are incredible, the greatest transformation happens within us. Prayer strengthens us to face challenges, gives us clarity in decision-making, and draws us closer to God in a way that nothing else can. When we pray, we're not just asking for something, we're becoming stronger, more prepared to receive and steward the blessings that will come. After all, the more we learn to trust, the more we recognize God's providence in every detail of life. A life of faith isn't a peaceful stroll. It's a constant battle against forces that try to discourage, distract, and destroy us. Ephesians 6:10-11 reminds us of the need to put on the armor of God to stand against the enemy's attacks. Just as a soldier wouldn't go into battle without protection, a Christian cannot face spiritual warfare without prayer, faith, and knowledge of the Word. It's not a matter of if attacks will come, but when, and preparation determines the victory. Have you ever noticed that the closer you get to God, the more challenges seem to arise? That's no coincidence. James 4:7 teaches us to resist the devil, and he will flee from us. But resistance requires action. It's not just about avoiding evil, it's about strengthening yourself spiritually. Reading the Bible daily, fasting, and maintaining a life of prayer are essential strategies. Just like an athlete trains for competition, those who want to win spiritual battles must be constantly equipped. And the truth is, no one wins this war alone. God provides his armor, but it's up to us to wear it. The shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, the breastplate of righteousness, each piece serves a purpose. And when we put on this armor, we begin to see beyond the natural. Our struggles are no longer just obstacles. They become opportunities to grow, mature, and experience divine favor in unimaginable ways. Pain and challenges are never wasted when placed in God's hands. Romans 5:3-4 teaches us that tribulation produces perseverance, which builds character, leading to hope. In other words, every difficulty carries within it an opportunity for spiritual growth. Those who have gone through tough times often realize that their greatest lessons came from those very moments. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from facing and overcoming trials. Think of a tree that survives a storm. Its roots grow deeper, its branches become stronger, and it becomes more resilient for the next storm. The same is true for those who endure spiritual battles and remain steadfast in faith. 1 Peter 5:10 assures us that after we have suffered a little while, God will restore us and establish us on a firm foundation. This means that pain can be a pathway to a new season of divine favor, where resilience turns into a living testimony. But spiritual growth doesn't happen by chance. Just as an athlete trains their body, those who want to mature in faith must strengthen their soul. Reading the Word, daily prayer, and surrounding yourself with people who share the same values are essential. What seemed like a season of suffering may actually be the doorway to a deeper level of intimacy with God and the beginning of miracles that once felt out of reach. Jesus never promised an easy path, but he assured us that those who trust in God will experience something extraordinary. He taught that true faith moves mountains, as seen in Matthew 17:20. This means that it's not the size of the problem that matters, but the trust we place in divine power. Many struggle to believe when they don't see immediate results, but Jesus made it clear. The harvest comes to those who don't give up on planting. Spiritual growth isn't just a personal benefit, it's a reflection of obedience and total surrender to God. Those who live according to Christ's teachings discover that divine rewards go far beyond material blessings. Peace in the middle of the storm, strength in the face of trials, and an internal transformation that nothing can take away. That's why Hebrews 11:6 tells us that God rewards those who sincerely seek Him. Blessings can come in unexpected ways. a door opening at just the right time, an unforeseen restoration, or even a new purpose awakening in our hearts. The key is to remain steadfast and trust in divine providence. Many people wait for proof before they believe, but Jesus taught that faith comes before the miracle. Just as Peter had to take the first step to walk on water, God often waits for us to move before he opens the door. Active faith is the key to experiencing God's promises. So what will be the next step for those who want to live out this transformation? Now let me ask you, are you truly ready to experience this transformation? God has already placed the right tools before you: faith, prayer, and perseverance. But just knowing this isn't enough. Real change happens when you choose to take action. How many times have you postponed your time with God? How often have you doubted his favor because of your circumstances? The time has come to take a step of faith and trust that he is in control. So, what will you do from here? Will you keep waiting without taking action, or will you put on the armor of God and fight for your victory? If this message spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your journey of spiritual growth doesn't end here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep receiving powerful teachings on faith, prayer, and God's promises. And to go even deeper, check out the recommended videos. God has something incredible in store for you. Don't miss this opportunity to learn and grow spiritually.